Hello, hello, everyone. Nice to have you. So I am back again. If you don't know who I am, I'm ESL teacher Lisa. This is a good way for me to connect with you, answer some questions, and we're going to do that live. Or if you're going to watch the recording after, hopefully you'll get some motivation. Maybe you'll get one of your questions answered that you wanted to ask or you have asked. So the purpose of today's live stream is to answer the questions that you should be asking, questions that students have asked over the years, also questions that you might be afraid to ask. So let's try to cover those. So we'll try to stay pretty organized. So I'm just going to remind you that I also have, in addition to ESL Speaking Corner, which is streaming on this channel, I also have ESL Job Talk. I just started that channel, and that's going to be focused on getting you ready to have an interview in English and to answer those common questions. As an ESL English language learner, the channel is designed for you, with you in mind. So you can check out that channel if that interests you. So we kind of stay on top of job related things over there. And then I have Lisa's Story Corner, also just started that channel. And this is mainly for kids. I do reading out loud. Also, I'm going to be starting some kid classes, not so much for ESL, but other things. So again, it just gets kids more engaged with educational things. So you can follow me over there. So if your child has some English or is learning to read, or you just want to have them hear the language and have it more based not just on garbage, but on learning lessons. So the stories that I create them all, they teach lessons. They learn something from them. So it's a good way just to hear the language. And I had some adult learners actually said they enjoyed it too, but it's mainly focused. The channel is set up for kids, so there's also no targeted ads. So you might enjoy that. Okay, so let's get going and say hello if you're able to pop into the stream. I know I just started doing this, so if you're not able to come, that's okay, because I know the time might not match up with your time, but hopefully you can watch the recording. And I'm streaming from the Philippines, by the way. I've been here for about 3 years, and I enjoy it very much. I have stepped out of the country already and came back, but I've been here for about 3 years. I lived in New York most of my life, but I enjoy being here. It's more affordable. But that is a video for another time. Here's the first question. What is the best way to expand my vocabulary for daily conversation? So what I'm going to do is read you a prepared answer, and I did this in the last live. I'll read you a prepared answer, and then I'll add to that. Okay, so you want to expand your vocabulary for daily conversation. What should you do? So here is my prepared answer. I'm just going to read it. Don't just memorize word lists. The best way is to learn new words in context. When you read an article or show or watch a show, pay attention to how a new word is used in the sentence. Then try to use that new word in your own sentences 3 or 4 times over the next few days. This active practice makes the word stick or helps you remember the word. So this is called activation. You have to learn to work with the word. So just memorizing lists without context is not helpful. So for example, you learn the word, I'll just use a basic example. Dog, you might learn it in the local language. Here, Ilocano, it's aso. So is that the end of it? You just learn the word in your native tongue and then the word in English? No. You have to work with it, meaning put it in a sentence, put it in your own sentence, use the word, do some kind of vocabulary matching, some kind of exercise, fill in the blank. This actually teaches the brain that this word is important to remember it. So don't just memorize word lists. We're going to talk more about vocabulary in another question, but you really have to pay attention to how that word is used. It's not just about memorize it and that's it. And that's a very common question. Let's look at the next one. And I'm actually going to show you um, videos that I've already created on this topic. So I know sometimes I get asked questions or you want me to make content on certain topics, and I've already made videos for them. Of course, I have to refresh them and create new ones, but go back and watch this one, learn functional vocabulary English words, right, to improve. So this lesson, it's going to teach you to focus on your vocabulary that is important for your functional life, your English language life. So one student might have a select number of vocabulary words they're working on because it's important to their life, because of what they do or their job or career. And another student might have different words they're focusing on to function. Function meaning to go about your daily life or your activity. So what words do you need? So if you go to Starbucks every morning to order coffee, you might want to memorize or practice the word, caramel macchiato. So it's your functional vocabulary that you want to focus on. So that is one video that you can check out. The other one is how to learn English vocabulary words the right way. So there is about 17 minutes. They teach you how to learn English words the right way, so you're not wasting your time. Okay, so you can check out those videos. You can also just search them on the ESL Speaking Corner channel. Next question. I need to use English for my job or my studies. I get that one a lot. What's the best way to learn specialized vocabulary? So a lot of students these days come to these English language learning platforms, and I would say, I don't want to say majority, but a large number of students, maybe I'll say majority, are doing it for their work or to get a better job or to be promoted or to travel for work or to work in a certain office or to work with certain clients. They need to improve their English, but they have to improve also the specialized vocabulary. So I'm going to share with you the answer that I have. So a prepared answer, and then I'll build on that. If you have any questions, you can just pop them in the comments and I will read them. So let's answer this question that you see on the screen. You need to immerse yourself in your field, right, your specialized field in English, which means you need to read articles, listen to podcasts, and watch YouTube videos related to your profession. And I'm going to give you an example. So if you're in marketing, you need to follow marketing professionals who speak English. This is called learning for purpose, and it makes the vocabulary relevant and easier to remember. So for example, if you want to be a police officer, you would follow YouTube channels that talk about true crime. Or you want to be a doctor, or you're wanting to study abroad, medicine, then follow YouTubers who are actual doctors because you can hear the specialized vocabulary they use. So we can go on and on. You want to be a nurse, you want to be an engineer, you want to be an IT, then follow those professionals. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but any platform where you can listen to that native speaker talk about their job and their profession. That's really a fast and easy way to learn vocabulary related to your studies and related to your job. Let's look at the next question. How can I sound more like a native speaker in terms of rhythm, stress, or intonation? How can I sound more native-like? And those are three different things: rhythm, stress, or intonation. So really this is describing the music of the language. This is what that's describing, the music of the language. One second. Okay, excuse me. So let me read my prepared answer, and then we'll build on that. So how can I sound like a native? How can I sound American? So this is about the music of the language. It's a fantastic technique is shadowing. So many of you know shadowing. So what this is what shadowing is. listen to a short clip of a native speaker, pause it, and then try to repeat exactly what they said, mimicking or copying their rhythm, speed, and intonation. This trains your mouth and your ears to get used to the natural flow of English. Every language has a flow, so English has its own flow. It's the music of the language, the ups and downs. So that's what shadowing is. You listen first to a native speaker, pause it, and you try to say the same thing in the same way with the same ups and downs. And I think that's a great way. So they call it shadowing. And this is the course that I'm working on, our upcoming idiom course. Probably at the beginning of October, I'll get the first lesson out and the workbook out. And this is to help you sound more native-like, learn idioms and everyday expressions. So if we go to the next slide, I want to show you that workbook. This is the cover that I have, Going to New York. It's a fun way to learn common idioms, and it is targeted to intermediate ESL students. So if you're a beginner, then this is not for you. It's going to be completely on YouTube. We're going to have this class that you're able to view on YouTube. We'll also have live sessions where you can ask questions. You can follow along in the workbook. You can do the exercises. You'll be able to listen to the audio. So it's interactive, but it's just going to be in video form initially, but you still will have the same exact workbook that the students have that you're watching on video. So this is the step. This is what shadowing is, and this is in the course that I have coming up. And the course is free, by the way. I'm not charging for the course. The workbook you have to pay for because it has audio files, and I put it together, and it's a very minimum cost, but at least you can follow along. It's going to have 20 lessons or 20 conversations that we will study native-like. Here is how to properly do what's called shadowing. I call it dialogue reading, whatever you want to call it. 1, listen to the audio. So you're going to listen, in this case, you're going to listen to our 2 characters, which is Takashi and Mateus, speak, and others in the course speak. You're just going to listen to the audio. You won't see the words. Second, then you're going to read exactly out loud what you heard. So you hear the audio, then you look at the words. So, oh, okay, I only understood 80% of the conversation. Let me read. Do I now understand 90%, 100%? And if you still don't, what do you have to do? Go to step 3. We never skip a step though. Step 3 is phrase matching. This is activation. It's what we talked about earlier with that question that was, how do I learn vocabulary for daily life? You have to activate the word or the phrase. So if you learn the idiom and you're not sure, you do an exercise. Here's the idiom. Here's a definition. Can you match them? And then listen again for more accuracy. So you're going to listen a second time after you've read it yourself, seen the words, the grammar, the phrases. You've heard how a native says it. Then you have to listen again. And the hope is that you get 100% comprehension or close to it. So that's sort of the goal. So that's a sneak peek into what's coming. Okay, next question. I can read and understand well, but when I try to speak spontaneously, I freeze. How can I overcome this? A lot of students tell me about this. They say, I'm doing well in English class, but when I want to talk to my neighbor, I freeze. The words fly out of my mind. I can't remember anything. It's pretty common, especially when you're nervous. So the first thing I would say is relax, try to calm down. I know easier said than done, but when you're overly anxious, it's hard to think clearly, right? So let me read the prepared answer that I have. And again, you can ask any questions and we'll build on this. So this is a classic input versus output problem. So you have a lot of input. So input is you have a lot of reading, listening, but your output, right, your speaking, is weak. Your muscles are weak. Your lips, tongue, throat, mouth is not trained enough for the English language. And you don't practice enough speaking. So to fix this, you have to practice speaking, even if it's just to yourself. You need to increase the time that you're spending physically speaking, using the language. So here's one thing you can do. If you don't have a speaking partner, I would highly recommend you get one, whether it's a tutor or someone that just speaks better English than you to get yourself speaking. But if you don't have anyone, this is a method some students have tried. Try to pretend like there's a young child in front of you. Try to pick a topic and explain it to that child very simply in English out loud. So in English out loud. And by the way, when I talked earlier about that dialogue reading, that shadowing, right? We're always doing the reading out loud. This is training the mouth, lips, tongue, throat for a better English sound, right? Closer to native. And this forces you to be spontaneous and use what you know. So you can just pretend there's someone in front of you. Maybe you want to explain what you do. So can you do that? What do you do for work? Pretend there's a 12-year-old in front of you. Can you describe what you do in English? Pick any topic. Where did you go on vacation last year? Could you explain to a 12-year-old what you did, where you went? So that's one good technique if you don't have anyone to practice with. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm afraid I'll never stop making mistakes. Should I worry about being 100% accurate, or should I just focus on fluency? I just did a video not too long ago about this, and I'll show you where to find it. So here's my prepared answer. No one is 100% accurate, not even native speakers. Please remember that. Not even native speakers. And the goal is not perfection, it's communication. Focus on fluency first. Get your message across. As you gain confidence, you can go back and refine your accuracy. A fluent speaker who makes a few mistakes is a better communicator than a perfect speaker who is too afraid to speak at all. Did you get the point? Did you get the point? You might have a very good English speaking level, but if you're too afraid to speak, if you're too afraid to open your mouth, you're not better than the person who's at a lower level is speaking with mistakes, but they're speaking. So you just have to speak. You just have to speak. I know some of you come from cultures, a lot of cultures are like this, unfortunately, where you speak in English in public. People make comments, they pull you down, they ridicule you, they say things, they say you don't sound American, all kind of nonsense. You really have to try to push that out, push that aside, and keep going. You're not going to be perfect, and that's fine. And when you're talking to a native English speaker, I can guarantee you they are not focusing on your mistakes, they're focusing on understanding you. Do I understand you even though you made a grammar mistake or you said something not quite right, but I got it? I'm happy and let's move on because I understood. So please don't focus on mistakes. Yes, correct them, continue to improve, take note of new words, how you can say things better. But if you focus on mistakes, you just won't improve. All right, and I want to show you what I mentioned earlier. I did this interview with JD. Just speak English. It was a great interview. She was really open. She was really vulnerable. She shared her experience learning English, and she speaks quite well. And it's not an easy thing to do to be interviewed in English. So please, it's a real life ESL student. She's not my ESL student, but she was obviously an ESL student for second language. She speaks 3 languages. And it was a very insightful conversation. I think you'll be able to relate to it. So I have that. I've done a few videos, I think at least about 4 of them or 5 of them on the channel because this is a big topic, but being afraid pulls students back, holds them back. Also, I did this one, 10 steps to help you overcome your fear of speaking in English. So I'm just showing you the thumbnail so you can find it. And this one came with a free PDF download. So you can just actually download those 10 steps. And it does work. It really does work. And that can help you. And it's completely free. It's in my Gumroad store. If you find the video, I'll link you right to it. It's in the description. So you can watch those videos. And that is all I have for you today, actually. That is all I have for you today. So I just wanted to hop on here and do a live. I'm going to do them more often. I'm just experimenting with different times. And I know my audience is not used to me doing live, so you might have seen the pop-up and you couldn't do it, or you saw it later and didn't realize I was on live. So I'm just going to try to do it more. And for sure, when we start that idiom course, be sure to look out for the notifications. I'll definitely post it in the community or post a quick video or short that we're going to go live and we're going to answer the questions that you have on that particular lesson. We have 20 of them. So we'll do one lesson. We want you to completely understand. We're going to do lesson 2 and so on. And probably after each lesson, or at least the first couple, we're going to do a live, and then we'll do 3, 4, then we'll do a live, something like that. So we'll figure out exactly when we'll do it. But even if you're here watching the replay, you can always just put a question in the comments. That's fine. So I hope everyone had a great day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, if it's morning, or the rest of your evening. And if you ever have a question about learning English, and my channel is really focused on speaking, getting you really to speak and giving you technique strategies. But at the end of the day, you have to speak. The secret to becoming a more fluent speaker is speak more. Speak more. Just increase the time that you're taking to speak. I will see you in the next video, and be sure to check the description for any other resources. Take care, everybody. Bye now.